What is up, ladies and gents? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, RAF ESPARZA, coming to you with another great installment of the Bullpen. We have two friendly faces who you will see in just a second, but before we get to them, a couple quick reminders. First and foremost, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. If you don't know what you want to comment, in the comment section, do not worry. We have lots of topics and lots of hot takes that will maybe make you put something in the comments. And Lord knows, you should know by now, there is a section at the end of the show where we read some of those comments. So if you're lucky, or unlucky, I guess we should say, you might be one of the people that we select to talk about. Other quick reminders, if you like the show, you can also follow me at patreon.com/grappling hour. Check out my interviews 30 days before anybody else for just $5 a month. Listen, if Joe Biden can send you emails, I can spam you with this every single episode. Just saying. He raised $28 million. We have issues in this country. We'll get to them shortly. But first, let's go ahead and say hello to our longtime friend, Tim Freeman. Tim, how are you doing, sir?
Hey, RAF ESPARZA, I'm doing fantastic. I'm super stoked to be on the Bullpen once again. It is humid AF out here in the great city of Nashville, but my studio has air conditioning, so I'm pretty chill right now. I'm not seeing red yet, but I'm trying to get there, so let's get it on, man. I'm glad to be here today. Welcome.
We're glad to have you back on, sir. Yes, we do put up I am seeing red. I think now that it's a new month, I might change some of those. We'll see. It just requires work, and that's like a lot of work for me. But, ladies and gents, today for our special guest host spot, because as a reminder, our good friend Jake Watson is taking a sabbatical for the summer, but that doesn't mean we don't have top tier talent for you. In fact, today, we have somebody who's got a very, very wonderful platform with OS Nation. He is putting out very, very funny videos on a regular basis. But not just that, he's also got a podcast called the BJJ Balance Podcast. Is it fair and balanced on that show? Maybe. Is it opinionated? Definitely. So we thought, who better to walk us through some of these topics that we are about to put on a board for you than one BJJ, Balance, and OS Nation guy himself, Matthew Veiga. Matthew, how are you doing, sir?
Bonjour, boys. What's going on? I am exactly the opposite of Jake Watson.
So okay, hold on. Let's get into that. How would you be the opposite of Jake? You to us, very kind, very warm. How would you define yourself as the opposite of him?
Well, to say Jake Watson in life, missionary position. Me, we doggy style. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a little rough around the edges. I'm gonna spit on it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
here's the thing, dude. You didn't take long to really show how you're different.
We're not gonna. You're not gonna. You know. I even though I believe in the man upstairs, you ain't getting no Bible verses.
It's so great because you said missionary position, wow. And that's like the one thing to somebody who's super religious, they might be like, well, I have a different definition of what that is. So, hey, listen here, guy. I'm glad that you mentioned that. Obviously, we do love Jake. But what I like about you, awesome, Matt, is that you always are down to have a good time. When I see you do your things and I see you do all of your very funny videos, you are a busy man. So we appreciate all of your help here to coming on. Oh, my God. I'm seeing all these people. Like, you've already got your BJJ. Like, you're on the chat as well. So is this your partner in crime responding as you right now?
I don't know. No,
right now in the comments it says BJJ Balance. Your huckleberries.
I do not run the BJJ Balance. That's Kenny. Shout out Kenny. Freak Party BJJ. Yeah, okay. I don't run the BJJ Balance.
They showed up. They showed up for you, man.
A lot of us here have worked with the second partner. I'm usually the guy running the stuff. So when that happens, I'm like, wait, am I on here? What am I doing? Oh, okay.
No, my boy is the man when it comes to techie stuff.
I see what's happening here. Kenny, love this. I love your attempt here. You should know that video where they talked about huckleberries versus huckleburrs. In the script, it's actually huckleberries. You can ask Val Kilmer. So Just double check that work. But that's why it's a very good video. I like it. But yes, they have commented on that one there. I do want to point this out. You got this note here, Tim, and I don't know what to do with it. It says, put me in your guard and never let go, Freeman. So this dude's name Winterstick83. If I'm going to put anybody in my guard, I don't know that that's going to be the first person.
I will lock that dude up so tight. Have you ever seen those chicks that could put a watermelon between their legs and they could just squeeze it so hard it'll break? That's what have you guys seen the show The Boys? You know the scene where the chick sits on the guy's head and basically crushes it? That's what I'm going to do to Winterstick. I'm going to put him in my guard, and then I'm going to rupture his spleen. I'm going to humble him like the Iron Sheik.
So thank you for that. I'm glad to see that. Yes, BJJ Balance, OS Nation, Grappling Hour crossover inside BJJ. Love to see it in there as well. We have, God, man, we have a few comments here. But yes, what's up, Chase? And it says, I hope Matt wears a tank top on the pod. So are you normally wearing tank tops here, Matt? I think we should just get
I
a
wore a
sense.
tank top last week because it's sticky. I had to teabag some baby powder to get on last week. But I wore it last week. I wore it. I wasn't gonna, I'm pasty, boys. I ain't gonna, you know what I mean?
I appreciate
a very
that.
tasteful wife beater.
Yeah.
I wore my nice wife beater today.
Yeah.
The reason why I say that is because thank you for classing it up for us. This is like you are in your Suge Knight era right now, sir. Like this is
hardcore.
Hey, I'm full fuckboy lately. You know what I mean? We got mullet. I've turned 40 and I'm just like doing some wild stuff. Like I got a fake gold chain, like I'm just doing the whole thing. Mullet. It's all like, I don't know what's gotten into me. I'm about to buy a Corvette. I don't know,
So just so people understand here, yes, Chase, I did ask him his preference, but we go by a full Christian name first to establish the person, and then we go into the soft T, as somebody was asking, because apparently the hard T was very fearful to some people. But yes, Matt is what we are referring him to him as. That's
that's an inside joke because my name's spelled with one T, Matthew, but I add the second T when I go short because I'm not a doormat. So they're like a soft T, and so now everybody calls me Matt with one T and the soft T. Yeah, thanks Nate and Kenny for that one. That is caught on. Everybody just writes me with one T now, but that's an inside joke. But
as they should. Executive wife beater, which by the way is what I believe is white collar crime. Wanted to make sure people know it. That's a very different thing. And this is the last one we're going to get to before we go to the board, which is he's squeezed me. I can vouch for best time ever. So Tim, perhaps there's some things you need to get in order here, sir.
Listen, that guy has been harassing me since the early inside BJJ days, and he has once again found me on the bullpen. He's a good dude. He's become a friend from the podcast way back. But yeah, I've never met this guy in person, not yet. I should though. I'm pretty close to him now. I squeezed him metaphorically.
Fair enough. Well, here's the weird part. There are some things that have been happening that when we go to press, I always have the guys contribute their notes, their observations, and then you wake up in the morning and there's breaking news. So we should start with the breaking news and then we'll work our way to the board. But I believe the first breaking news is that, yes, there is a new addition to the Craig Jones Invitational that was just days ago a new addition to the ADCC tournament. So it looks like the nice sentence and a half that they wrote about Majid Hage is now no longer because ADCC just lost him to Craig Jones Invitational. So we'll start with you, Tim. What does any of this mean, if anything?
It's got to be a frustrating experience for Mo because I imagine, I should just say ADCC. I imagine they have a list of names and they're like, well, if this guy backs out, then the next column, they got the guy they'll call if that guy backs out. And then maybe for some of those guys, they have like a third column. Like, what if that guy backs out? I think they're getting to the columns where there's like nobody in the list now. So they're like, damn, what are we going to do? I think it's a strong move for Majid. I don't hold it against him. It makes sense. But man, it's got to feel a little bit like a sinking ship, just in terms of just at least this event, this particular event has got to feel like there's a lot on the line and a little disappointment. They don't have many wins leading up into this event. There's not a lot of organizational wins. ADCC was on a run for a while. They were doing big things, and it just seemed like it was constantly on the up. And now, not so much. Like every time they turn around, they get kicked again. So, good luck for Majid. But man, I don't know. Why even make an announcement? They should just say, look, just show up, and then you'll find out who's competing, because we don't know either at this point. Like, it's a little too early. So
I think the only thing that got a little weird is the fact that I wanted to go see on the ADCC website what they said about him, because everybody who gets announced, they're running out of adjectives or words to say about some of these guys. So they go, Majid Hage, somebody who has looked very pretty and wears board shorts, will be joining us at ADCC come August 17th. And on this one, it disappeared. So they literally pulled a Men in Black, like, nope, didn't happen. We didn't invite him. What are you talking about? He's always been Craig Jones Invitational. Everybody knows that. So I have found that very entertaining. Matt, on your side, what did you pick up from this process? Tim mentioned the idea that, yeah, these things will happen and that maybe ADCC needs a little bit of a different approach. From your perspective, what could they be doing maybe a little bit better to retain some of these athletes, or to, at the very least, just make the most out of the very good athletes they already still have on their roster?
Right, obviously pay them more, but like, I think this to beat a dead horse, but I think the main thing, I got three things out of this. Did Hage take this invite because he's like, well, now that I'm signed, I know Craig's gonna send me an invite and I'll get the $10,001, or like, and also ADCC. Are you not, like, you're afraid to announce because you know it's gonna get poached? So it's kind of like you gotta play that. It's hard to, like, yeah, you're just gonna have to, like, just turn it on, like you said, Ralph. Turn it on and let's see what's happened. And then number three, how far down the list is Tim Freeman? You know what I'm saying? Like,
not too far, I'm
everybody's
thinking.
gone. This could be your shot. ADCC champ, Tim Freeman, double black belt.
Yeah, listen, if I go in there and win, then there's going to be a real sad bracket if I'm the guy that takes that bracket. You know what I mean? We're talking like 14-year-olds that are yellow belts are going to be in there. Yeah, that's a tricky move. I do appreciate the compliment, though. But I feel the sentiment. Like, dude, are they just going to start pulling people out of the audience? Like, hey, this match has got a free spot coming up. Bring them on in.
You're getting a little ahead of me here. I think we've gone from it's an honor to do it to now very close to I volunteer as tribute, because I think we're now getting a draft that's happening. I think somebody's going to show up in the audience. They're going to look down. They're going to be like, hey, check your seats. Shit, am I in 99K? Fuck,
do you
dude.
guys not think the value of the ACC title is worth it anymore? Like, just to compete, like, knowing. So I would wait for all the Craig Jones spots to be taken before I would announce my next guy, because Craig or whoever's really running CGI, the other partner, is just gonna poach him or try.
It seems
You
like
gotta wait.
the ultimate reverse Uno. Like, it looks like Mo's playing a card and he just is like, how about this? And then Craig goes like, yeah, cool, reverse Uno. I took that back from you. Thanks, mate. And then they move on. Like, you might have something here, which is maybe hold on to it. There is only one spot left at the -80. I believe there might be two spots at plus 80 kg. So while we have a moment, I'll start with you, Matt. Who do you want to make a plug for? There's 3 spots left to my count. Who are you going to make a ploy to try and get in on this while we still have those 3 remaining spots?
Well, a plus 88, which, I want to see Bushesha in there. I've seen Rockhold post stuff. I know I've kind of got a little inside knowledge on that. I would like to see Bushesha sign. Um, uh, I think maybe it's because ONE FC knows that he has one fight left on his contract and they want him to re-sign a new deal to get over there. So they're not going to let him do it. Maybe, I don't know that's just speculation, but I think, like, he would be an awesome to the heavier bracket, and for the lower bracket, like, I would like to see, like, a more of like a dominant, well-rounded MMA wrestler, like someone with a name in MMA, but like has good grappling too. You know, like a world class, just a name, just like a because you always want to see what would the UFC guy do against a pure grappler, and those fights are always just stand-up fights. So let's just see what it would be like if it was on the ground. So I would like to see like a legit MMA name. It doesn't matter who, just someone with like, you know, championship pedigree, give it a shot, or up and coming guy. You know, I said maybe like a Bo Nickel or something.
Word. Tim.
Man, you know, at the heavier weights, I would love to see a guy like John Jones out there. I know he's grappled a little bit, but I think he would be an interesting watch. The guy's an amazing athlete. He's a super smart fighter. And in a 3-point or 3-round format with a 10-9 must kind of system, he has a lot of experience fighting fights like that. He might be able to find a way to win. So I think that would be interesting for the smaller guys. I'm really hoping that they already have these particular guys that I want to see, and they're just waiting to announce them. And it's going to be a big hoorah. It's probably not, but man, I would love to see Rafa Mendez make a comeback. I think that guy is still elite level. I think he could come right back into the game right now and be successful. And with all the new guys that are out there right now, it would be really exciting to see him match up against those guys. And another name, and I know this dude's a little older too, but again, you know, this rule set is going to be kind of new, and the format's going to be kind of new. So I think everybody's going to have a chance. Would be Marcelo Garcia if he's getting out there. And we've mentioned his name before, but man, how big of a win would that be for CJI to pull a guy out of retirement who's a legend in jiu-jitsu and announce them as like, this tournament is so great. We resurrected Rafa Mendez from retirement. He came out of retirement to do it. I would just be like, what? Mo would literally just like, his hair would start falling out, you know? It's like, so anyway, wild stuff.
Those are solid picks by both of you gents. We got a note here that said, I believe this says Darren Elkins. And here's the thing. It says Gorgon Brian, which, okay, I'm with you. But it says, I mean, Bushesha. And, you know, I'm not the world's best speller in the world, but I don't know that that's correct there. What I would say to you guys is this. These last 3 spots, Craig is putting it out there and saying, oh, guys, chime in on who you think it could be, or make an appeal. And all I think about is, oh, I think they already have it locked up. Like, wouldn't you leave that last spot for a punch to the gut, or 1 or 2 of them? Like, the last one to me has to be something that's super damning. Like, if he pulled off a Yuri and you're just like, oh, is that why they put a second fight? Oh, is there something here that we don't quite know? So I feel or at least I'm hoping. I temper my expectations, but I'm hoping it is a big announcement to end on. Now, you did mention a nice segue here, and we will actually go to the board with this. Tim, you were mentioning, yes, there is a little bit of talk about John Jones, but not in the jiu-jitsu realm, more in the MMA realm. Now, after this weekend, Alex Pereira put a distinct exclamation mark on his feud with Yuri. And immediately afterwards, people were wondering, John Jones? Alex Pereira? And yet, we've already got responses from one of the GOATs in our industry. John Jones says that he can handle Pereira. I ask you this, Matt, can he?
I think he can. I mean, a lot of people say, well, you haven't really seen 5 minutes of John Jones in like the last few years, but I mean, the guy has never lost a fight, and the fight he did lose, he dominated. He beat him so bad they gave him an L. You know what I mean? So I don't think John Jones, a pure striker like Pieta, even though he's got a black belt, and I'm not saying his black belt isn't legit, but there are levels to black belt, and John Jones will get a takedown. John Jones will be able to weather a strong, especially at a heavier weight. Your power doesn't resonate at a heavier weight, so even though you know Pieta has the power, I just still think John Jones will be able to get to a body lock, get him down, and make quick work of him. So he did lose his pound for pound ranking today. Pieta is number 1, you know, and it was Chimaev is number 2. So I think that, like, you know, I think John Jones is would handle him pretty good. But I don't think UFC wants that. I think UFC will give Pieta a heavyweight fight, but it'll be someone like Rosenstrike or maybe a Serial Gone. So you can get, they've kind of given him stand-up fights because they're trying to build their money cow, And Pieta's old. He's just as old as John Jones. He's like 36 or something like that. So I don't think that fight would end well for Pieta. But I mean, of course, I would love to watch it.
Tim, same question to you, but there's some good points brought up here by Matt. But can you see John Jones being as dominant with other people as he would with Chama?
I think every athlete, even the most dominant, come to a point in their career and they never know when it is. And us is the watchers and viewers and fans, and some of us have fought, some haven't, but we've all been watching fights for a long time. We know a decent amount of information about it. Some guys just start to slip a little bit, and you don't know when it's going to happen. But once it happens, you watch it take place in a fight. It happens to all the greats. I don't think that's going to happen to John Jones right now. I think Jones is still the most dominant heavyweight. I think somebody's going to have to beat him. Like he beat Hamill down so bad, that like Matt said, they gave him an L. I don't think Pereira has enough power to put Jones away. I think Jones could absorb those shots, and I think Jones has a lot of power. He has a lot of reach. He's a super tricky, savvy fighter. He's hard to train for. Yuri, has a style that's hard to beat, but he's not as versatile as a guy like John Jones. And if Jones takes him down, it's going to be a real difficult night for Pereira. And we see Jones do all kinds of unconventional stuff and submit people at the highest levels with wild shit that we don't even think he's going to do. I don't see how Pereira is going to prepare for that. I think Jones takes it. I think Dana wants it to happen. He said Joe Rogan was in his ear telling him, like, yeah, we got to do it. And Dana wants slap fights. He'll do it. He don't care. Like, the fans want it. So I don't know. It'd be interesting match to watch up.
I actually think you bring up a good point, which is I think Dana's so preoccupied with slap fights that anytime somebody brings up something that's out of pocket or like a little bit off center, he just goes into heavy defensive mode where he's like, no, he's still the number one. Everybody knows that. Who's the number one? Who did I just say?
Yeah.
It's Jones, right? Yeah. He's the best. And then people go, dude, he hasn't fought literally in the past, 3 years now? And he's like, yeah, but I mean, you can't deny the fact that he's number one. Islam? Who? What? God bless you. I don't know. What are we talking about here? So I've seen him do a few things. I do want to bring up a couple questions from the gallery as they are topical. The first of which was, and I'll address this on over to you, Matt, because I think this was actually as you were talking. And it says, dude's never been challenged by a legit wrestler. I think Bones would maul him. Pereira with puncher's chance, though. Your response?
I think that's exactly what it would be. He would have to circle and stay off the cage, but Jones has this ability just to grab your wrists with his hands and an elbow over the top. I think that it's just really hard to deal with, especially if you've never fought him. I know Pieta has the K1 and he's done a lot of striking and stuff before, and he might be able to attack the leg kicks because John Jones never really been a leg checker, but it's definitely a puncher's chance. And the only person right now beating John Jones is a jury of 12. You know what I mean? I just don't see him losing.
Or a pregnant lady. Like, let's be very clear.
Yeah.
This is two very powerful individuals to him.
You
or
also
cocaine.
Forgot about cocaine. Yeah.
I was like, God damn. Oh, sorry, Tim. I ruined that timing for you. Tim, what I have for you is this. Somebody put this up here, and it's Colby Campbell. And he says, John is dodging Aspinall. Thoughts?
Well, I don't know if dodging is the right word. It might be that he wants Aspinall to get some more fights under his belt. One, so he could get some more footage of him. And two, hoping that Aspinall gets some harder miles put on him. Might give him a better chance to beat him. But yeah, a guy like Aspinall is going to be really difficult for a guy like John Jones. But I'm just at the point right now where I'm not betting against John Jones until John Jones slips. And then once I see that with my eyes and we witness it, then maybe I'll start entertaining that. But until then, I'm just not going to do it because the dude beats everybody and he beats them in all kinds of wild ways. Half the time we think we're going to predict how he's going to win and he wins some other random way. Like the guy's a winner despite his troubles outside of the octagon. When you put him in the cage, John Jones is a winner. So Aspinall, yes, definitely going to be a challenge, but I still would lean to John Jones on that one.
I do want to address this one very quickly, but perhaps just because of the wording of it. It says, I don't think Alex would have the time he needs to figure out bones before he gets in his kitchen.
All up in the kitchen.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it would be ugly.
It would.
I think he closed the distance. I think he closed the distance too fast. Maybe if it was a fight like on a football field or something, and Pieta could kept staying away, but you put John Jones with walls, you're getting dumped. That's just, I mean, if he's dumping DC, an Olympic wrestler, he's dumping a K1 kickboxer. And we all saw Izzy take Pieta down, and Pieta has trouble getting up off the ground.
Well, to be fair, wrestling as you get older does not quite happen as frequently. So I do wonder, it's not that he's inactive, but selectively active is kind of a weird thing, especially as you put on more size. So I think being that nimble, that wrestling was his advantage. And I think now there is a possibility that Perea could potentially keep him at bay in some respects. It's more of, I think everybody wants to know, what would the stand-up look like? And then I think if you're a strategist, and that's what I think most people underrate about Jones, is that he is an excellent fight IQ. Like within the moment, he makes corrections very quickly that I don't see other fighters make. So in that regard, I think he could make some adjustments. It's what makes it a very compelling argument. And it says, don't forget the legal system may end up taking down Jones. I mean, yes, it's been trying to. So
I think is the heavyweight champion, he should have heavyweight champion immunity. Like whatever he does while he's the champ, he should just have a certain level of immunity because he's the UFC heavyweight champion. Cut him a break. This is John Jones.
The last note here, BJJ Balance, it says, are we ignoring the praise that Jones received from Gordon? Sure. I mean, the nice part is Gordon was very complimentary of him when they got to like combined forces in a crossover episode. I don't think anybody's ignoring it. I just think the relevancy of it in terms of what we see. So like nobody here is just taking the isolated grappling into consideration. I think most people just give the edge to Jones in that regard. I think that's the difference, is everybody just wants to see how those hands work, because we saw that kick and it landed so flush on Yuri that I know that Herb Dean was trying to give some time here, but the rest of us were like, especially after the end of that first round, we thought, yeah, this is done. I think we're good here. And then he had a second round, same thing. We're going to get straight into him being knocked down and looking at Herb like, fine, okay. This is good. All right, we're done here. All right, we move on. So speaking of moving on, we here will move on as well. And I know you guys are going to bring up Gustafsson. Gus, listen, dear to my heart. That one still hurts to this day. It's a very good fight. I would recommend if you have not seen it. But children, we go to our next topic, which is this. Ian Machado, Gary, whatever you want to call him, whatever 15 names he has added since the last time we have talked about him, recently accused MVP's jiu-jitsu coach of trying to pump out information and get critical key information about his camp. And it got me thinking here. First of all, if anybody you're going to go through a jiu-jitsu coach? Well, since it barely touches our region here, I want to ask you guys, what are some fake secrets that you could sell about your inner camp? Now, mind you, I'm not asking for the real secrets. I'm asking for the secrets that let you know someone is being a mole in your camp. I'll start with you, Tim Freeman.
I think the secret that I would leak out there is that we're working on some real exotic guard game off of our back, and we're looking to play that game. and just float that out there, see how far that goes, and then just play a top game, do something completely different. I guess that's what you could do. It's so absurd to me to think that there's one guy's reaching out to another guy over, Instagram. He's sending him a DM. Hey man, I'll give you a gift card for Acai Express, and I'll freaking send Venmo you some money, or give you some Dogecoin or something if you tell me what's going on. I don't know. Look, Ian Machado Gary is a very, very good fighter, and he's a very, very good jiu-jitsu player, and I have a lot of respect for that. But I think we should consider adding the name Sensitive in with his other names, because this guy's got a lot of beefs with a lot of people, and he seems to be a little bit on the cantankerous side. So I really doubt that this was happening. It's probably just standard research, and he's like, how dare you look me up?
All right, Matt, what secrets could you sell that are fake about your team?
I'm just gonna say that I'm Ian Machado Gary, and so if that guy DM'd my coach, I would tell him, hey, just tell him that like I'm not even rolling, I'm not even doing jujitsu. I'm just watching my wife do jujitsu, and with another guy, and I would just play that angle really hard. So you know what I mean? If it was me personally, I would just say, "Oh, Matt's just trading no gi all day. He doesn't even like the gi anymore." And Michael Venom Page, it's just because his coach is probably Brazilian, and he knows someone at Shoot Box, and he DM'd them like that's if that's true. Like Michael Venom Page probably barely knows how to hip escape. Like
Yeah.
you want to stop a jiu-jitsu guy the ground, don't kick over his hips. If Michael Vinapich throws a high kick and gets caught, you're getting on the ground, and that's what happened. So yeah, I would just tell him, Ian's not even training, he's just watching his wife roll, no gi, and it's all slippery.
That's a great answer. I would tell you, I'm so confused as to why you would go to a jiu-jitsu coach. In a world full of striking and wrestling, like, is the jiu-jitsu coach going to be like, he pulls a lot of guard.
Yeah.
We've been working hip bump escapes. Huh? How much you got? I got more for you. Like, no one really is going to abuse it. Most of us kind of know the elements of jiu-jitsu. Nobody's sitting on Danaher information and thinking, I've got the real secret here. Like, I am pretty sure most jiu-jitsu games, even at the highest of levels, even if you gave the game plan to somebody else, they'd be like, I still got to implement this. This is fucking very difficult. So what secret information could you have possibly been soliciting? Which is why I think the claim is so absurd. And two, even if it is the case, and I was fighting. Now, granted, weight cuts make people a little loopy in the head, but I would laugh so hard. I'd be like, what do they want to know about me? Oh man, you know what? Just give them my exact roadmap. I wrote this out. This is give that to them. Absolutely. Let them know. Like, what the fuck are they going to do with it in a game where you punch and kick people as well? And it's only a portion of the game. So I don't know, man. I found this to be one of the most entertaining headlines. Normally when I do my search for jiu-jitsu and MMA, this is one that like spoke to me, and I go, oh, you went through a jiu-jitsu coach? Shit, man. If they went to my jiu-jitsu coach, 100% would have gotten sold out.
Your school and your professor gives away your game, right? Like if you're 10th Planet, you know what 10th Planet guys like to do.
No kidding.
If he's being trained by Danaher, you know what he's gonna do. You know what I mean? Like wherever you train, if you train under Lucas Late, oh, this guy plays half guard, probably. You know what I mean? Your professor is going to give away what you're doing in what you're doing jujitsu wise. You don't need to ask the guy. Just what's the professor like to do? That's probably pretty much what his ground game is going to look like.
I also like this though, Tim. I do want to interrupt you, and then I'll let you get back to your note here. But this came from an inside source. It says 10P Nashville fake secret. We do a lot of shrimping drills with cowboy hats. And Tyler Sage says, can confirm.
That I can neither confirm nor deny. That could be a drill that we're doing. I don't know. I have seen a lot of cowboy hats in the academy lately, so I don't know what these guys are doing. I'm not in every class, so I
I
can't best.
I
Not my
can
room.
tell you though, at the very end of every instruction you give, instead of doing like, all right, clap on three, yours is a yeehaw on three. 1, 2, 3, yeehaw.
Take our hat off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody does one of these.
Yeah.
Very
Wave
good
around the
stuff.
room.
So, okay, I'm glad we were able to discuss that out. It's kind of silly. And I know, Tim, you gave such props to Ian Machado Gary, and you said he's an exciting fighter. Not this weekend, though. So we're going to zoom past that one this weekend. We're going to go to our next topic, gents, which is presidential. And no, it's not what you think it is. In fact, the karate combat president had to pull a Wayne Brady this weekend. And, you know, it begs the question here. One, what prompted this? So what we're going to do here is we're going to take you to some of that footage. And yes, this took place at the most recent karate combat. So you can see here a melee, President Awesome trying to restore order with chain in tow. He sees this getting out of hand, maybe going outside of the pit where everybody knows you maintain things inside the pit, and then says, sleep, sleep, sleep. And guess what? This dude gets calmed down real quick as 20 people are dominoed onto President Awesome. And here, a terrible shot, by the way. So this is all my editing. This is my fault. But Sam Alvey crying out like Crocodile Dundee for extra help. And everybody's just kind of pointing out here. And yes, that is the lead singer of System of a Down, I think. Don't quote me on it. But here's another kind of closer up shot of President Awesome putting him to Chief Strongbow kind of sleeper hold. And here, this is my favorite part, is President Awesome then starts kind of looking around saying, you don't do that. You get fists. You do that. You go to sleep. So not in my house, not in my pit. I want to point this out before I open it up to the discussion here. But I think the worst part of this, it's not that he disrupted anything because he got contained very quickly. It was the empowering message that happened afterward that I think hurts more than getting choked out. Because afterward, President Awesome said, no. He's invited back. Sometimes we all get mad. And we have to learn. We have to grow. And he'll come back much better. I was like, yo, actually getting choked out doesn't hurt. You get hitting me with some like Oprah shit at the very end of this, that's the shit that hurt me. Because when I saw that go up, I go, man, yikes. So, Tim, what was your thought when you saw this go up on the interwebs this week?
First of all, I got to agree with you. There's no insult worse than somebody going chicken soup for the soul after they just kick your ass. That's a Tom DeBlasian move there all day long. So nice job on that one, President Awesome. I thought it was awesome. That's what I thought. I am ready. I realized when all those dudes converged into the pit, I had an idea. I went, oh, we need a karate combat battle royal. I need to see 30 guys in that pit kicking the F out of each. I want to see a guy get kicked over the wall. I want to see Spike and Hammer from Double Dragon. I want to see Ken and Ryu. I want to see the full karate regalia in a battle royal format. I think that would be freaking amazing. And it dawned on me as all these dudes converge into that pit. I'm like, what a melee that could be. But listen, on a serious note, brass balls on President Awesome for running in there, and also just the awareness of realizing like, yo, this dude's going to run in right now and he's about to lose it in a big way that could really damage the reputation of the show. And to intercept that, he had a lot on the line, personally and professionally. So to run out there and to intercept dude and then to bust the chicken soup thing on him is, damn, man, that's a gangster move. Like, props to him. That's a feather in the cap of karate combat. So nice job on that. I'm definitely going to watch the next one from start to finish now. Like, they just won a viewer. So good job.
Shout out Jake Watson in the comment section. Good to see you, sir. I'll ask you this, Matt, when you saw that clip, were you impressed by the technique? Would rear naked choke be the way to go because of the element of surprise? Or are you surprising us and being like, nah, I'm going to like sweep this dude now. I got some mount I really want to work on here.
I mean, if you've ever worked any security ever, like that's how you get people out of the bar. So like that is the number one, just the rear naked choke from behind and then just drag them out. So I thought the technique, that's probably the ideal technique to go. I loved every bit of it. I'm like, imagine if Roger Goodell would just like run out onto the field if someone was streaking or something and just like put hands on somebody, said, "Not on my watch." Like, I think that was probably the coolest thing I've seen in a while. President Awesome. This is a normal Tuesday for this guy. He runs the Goat Shed, if you ever follow them on Instagram. And there's this cars driving into their gym, like just brawls outside, moms, dads fighting, like it's pure chaos if you ever so like this was like an everyday thing for him. Like he was just felt right at home getting in a skirmish. So I love every minute of it. The sickest ankle pick at the very beginning when the guy runs up down the side, the cameraman hits with the sweetest little ankle pick.
Yes.
It was the
Yes.
sweetest little ankle pick that no one saw. I'm like, this guy just hit that low ankle pick, was beautiful. And then, my poor boy Sam, which I've trained with before, got taken down again. Like if late in the video, he's trying to break it up, and fucking Sam gets taken down again. I'm like, damn, Sam, you're the champ. You can't be getting taken down trying to break up a fight. But yeah, I thought it was cool. I'm watching the next one too. Fuck.
I have to say the credit for President Awesome though is the fact that he could have very easily handed off the responsibility to some of his minions. Like one of the security guards, you could 100% as the president go, kill him, and basically point off. And instead he got involved. And it makes you think, man, like in terms of presidency, it didn't quite hit Bill Pullman levels in Independence Day, but I think he was right at about Harrison Ford levels in Air Force One. So as we go into this Independence Day, I want to say, like, that's a high mark, man. You didn't quite give us the full speech afterwards that made us feel like we can all defeat aliens, but just short of that. And that was all nonverbal. So props to him and very happy to see it.
Do you guys think that he knew his security guards are karate guys and they couldn't get the fucking job done? But since he's got jujitsu, he's like, I gotta do this one, guys. Like, you guys are gonna go out and kick paddles and do some aerial shit. That ain't gonna get it done. This guy's really mad. I gotta use some real skill here to take him down and choke him.
He's seeing red.
As much as I love that idea and that concept, the only thing that I will say is, given the type of content that the Goat Shed has produced, I think President Awesome saw a moment flashing by him, made eye contact to make sure there was a camera, and was just like, oh shit, it's happening.
Exactly.
Oh shit. Yeah, bitch. Oh, you're about to go viral. Shh. Okay. No, this is good for us. This is good. Shh. You're about to get 1 million views. Good night. And I thought to myself, yeah, if you do something stupid, you're going to give me a viral moment too. So why the fuck not? And I mean, I just say this because we've run into see him over the years, and he's very nice, at least to us. Everybody has a different take on him. I've had nothing but very nice relations, and I had a moment where I go, good job, sir. So I definitely thought that was a very good moment. Yay, jiu-jitsu for one day. But let's move on to our next topic. Guys, I don't know if you caught this, but in the corner, in the prelims, there was a familiar face, but not a usual one. Actually one outside of the realm of BJJ and MMA, but not too far. Shinsuke Nakamura, a WWE fan favorite, was actually in the corner for a UFC fight this weekend. And it got me thinking, as I know two of you who are joining me on this call are also pro wrestling fans, it begs the question, which pro wrestler are you asking to corner you? And I'll start with you, Matt.
Personally, I've never really been a Shinsuke guy. He's always given me like Michael Jackson tranny vibes with his dancing and his like throwing himself back and stuff. He's never really been big on the Shinsuke movement. So, there we got some WWE guys who train like Karrion Kross. I think Batista has a brown belt. MVP's got a black belt. But I probably wouldn't go that angle. I'd probably pick someone like Chad Gable, who's an Olympic gold medalist, Olympic wrestler. And I'd probably take him just because he could teach you, especially in a jiu-jitsu fight, he could teach you how to just point it, stay on top, smash, be heavy, knee on belly, just get the takedown, put the fight where you want to put it. Because depending on what belt you're at, the lower belts, usually whoever gets the takedown gets the W in jiu-jitsu. So I'd probably choose Chad Gable.
Thank you for that. Let's go back this way. I'm going to put it on over to you, Tim, here in a second. Tim, who are you getting to help you in the corner from the world of professional wrestling?
I really like this question, and I'm a big time wrestling fan. I'm old school, but I was thinking like, man, who would I want? Because you're going to be in a cage. You need somebody who can motivate you and help you while you're in a cage fighting another human being. So I thought, man, I want a good person. Like, who's a good person that I could really trust? And I thought, well, maybe I could have John Cena, right? But then I'm like, oh no, he only speaks Cantonese now, so I can't have John Cena.
See that.
And then I thought, well, maybe I could get a menace like the late, great King Kong Bundy. This guy was one of the best classic stable member of the Heenan family. The problem with this guy is he only knows how to sit on people. So that's like, damn, that's not going to be the best. So I thought, man, I need somebody with experience fighting in a cage. And there is a wrestler from the old school who can fight in the cage. And it's not what you're thinking. It's a different kind of cage. It's not a cage where two guys get in it like an octagon. This is a real cage on the street. The one and only JYD, Junkyard Dog. This is a guy that I still have the neck attachment, but I don't have the chain anymore. He'd wear a chain, and I would have him come in between rounds and swing it around and just clear the whole freaking octagon out. Like, I would be the only guy allowed to rest. I would have him swing that chain until the dude in his corner had to like jump over the gate to get out of the way. I would have him bark and buffer and just do the full JYD, the full Junkyard Dog in the house. He's my guy. I'd have him play JYD's music. I'd make it all about that. And I think I could be just different enough one time that I could get into my opponent's head, potentially influence the judges, back the ref down, intimidate Buffer, and walk out of there with a W, get a fight of the night bonus and an attaboy from Dana. So I'm definitely going with JYD.
I thought you guys meant jiu-jitsu fight. If I was doing MMA, I'd probably have to go Stu Hart, send him down to the dungeon for a while, learn how to fight in the dungeon, learn how to get it done. Have Brett down there, have the Ghost of Owen Hart, all these guys down there, get him ready. Then I'd have him walk out with the Hart Foundation. That Bret Hart music hits, and just set it off that way for if it's MMA.
Gentlemen, that's a good start. Allow me. Now, here's the thing. I have to give Tim credit. Let me actually take the full rack off me. Tim, I have to give you credit because you had the action figures and I wasn't prepared for that. So I was very entertained when you started putting that in here. And BJJ Balance, you have a great comment here, which is the Macho Man with a bag of 80s Coke. Here's the thing. Macho Man didn't need the Coke. The Coke needed the Macho Man. Just in case you guys were not very clear on how the 80s worked. See, you guys are thinking small time. You guys are just thinking one person. You need a team. And whenever you fight in MMA, originally it's more for jiu-jitsu, but yeah, let's put it toward the MMA. You need a camp. You need a team. So here's what I'm doing, guys. You already previewed who is going to be in my corner. Yeah, I thought about bringing in Stone Cold, but then I thought he'd just want to get out there and fight. So that doesn't do any good for me. Because he would be looking at me and telling me like, you can't be telling that son of a bitch that he can't get over here. You got to come here and bring all this. And I'll be like, Stone Cold, I know you're getting old. It doesn't make any sense. So instead, you beat the guy who brings him. You beat Stone Cold, and that is one, Bret Hart, greatest of all time. He would be in my corner, obviously. The GOAT. I would have him. I already know how to hit a sharpshooter better than anybody else. So I'm like right up there with Bret. But the rest of the corner would go as follows. You would need, and it was in the comment section, yes, correct. You need the gold medalist himself, Kurt Angle. Yeah, you could go with Chad. That's cool. But did he win a gold medal with a broken freaking neck? No, I think not. That is the OG of OGs. One, Kurt Angle. And yes, there's nothing better than him showing up in an America singlet in my corner. But you guys get a little lost here. Yes, I could go modern. I could say Zack Sabre Jr. I could say Daniel Bryan. Those are great additions, but you already have that with Bret. You got to think a little bit bigger. You got to think about who's going to be able to get you motivated. And that's going to come from Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman in my corner will do what's necessary to make sure that I win. Not just by making me believe, But yes, going the extra mile, calling for those extra 2 points, even if I didn't get them, like some coaches do. Actually, most coaches do if you go to a jiu-jitsu tournament. And yes, he would make sure that if something needed to be done that was a little nefarious, he'd keep my hands clean and he would get his hands dirty. That's why I go with the OG. I'm a Paul Heyman guy. There you go.
And that's a spoiler.
That's a spoiler. That is a spoiler indeed. I just like the idea that as soon as I got into it, I originally had one person and I go, oh no, I can have a full team. Oh shit, this is about to be the greatest fucking all-stars ever. I like here it says, bro, here's the thing. Brett is directly responsible for getting me into jiu-jitsu by following the smaller man game and breaking down how he was doing some of the shit he was doing. That man's doing beer and bolos with Macho Man in matches, and you don't know it until you're actually doing it. The technical small guy definitely came into effect when I was starting to become into jiu-jitsu, but it says Wallow J here. He likes what you said here, Tim.
Oh, gee, thanks, Wallow. I thought of someone else, though. What do you guys think about, oh, shit. What do you guys think about Judo Gene LaBelle? Either way, if you're doing an MMA fight or you're doing a grappling match, that guy was a freaking beast, man.
May I share a very quick story here?
Oh, I would love that.
I think enough time has passed. I can share my Judo Gene. So I occasionally do photos out here in Southern California, and there was an event, and I was going to snag some photos of an MMA fight. Judo Gene was usually in the corner of like working as a judge or a distinguished guest. And whenever I show up to take photos, they have very clear delineations that some seats are for the commission, some seats are for doctors, some seats are for the commentary team. I just always ask the promoter, where can I stand? And I will be right there cage side and I won't move. Somebody puts me a certain place, they give me a chair, I go, great. Judo Gene comes up to me and he goes, hey man, you're in my seat. And I go, oh, I'm so sorry, sir. They put me here. Let me go ask where I'm supposed to be instead. He's like, no, you didn't hear me. You're in my seat. You can't be here. And I go, yes, sir, I believe you. I am actually going to move. But okay, I'm still being respectful. You're an OG. I'm not going to go out of my way to be a dick. So I come and I ask the promoter, I was like, where can I sit? And they're like, you can go right there. And I was like, your boy Judo Gene's coming after me, man. And I don't really want to create any problems. Like, just tell me where I'm supposed to be. Comes over and he goes, you're still in my seat, man. And I go, man, okay. Listen, dude, I didn't put myself here. And he goes, I'm just messing with you. And I go, I don't care. And he goes, but like, and then I think because I no-sold him, he got like kind of like a little butthurt. And I go, my guy, you're not funny. And I don't know how to tell you this. And God bless, you have a great career. But like, are you really going to like beat me up for being in the right spot? And then he just kind of comes over and then he like does one of these to me, like that old person in a Clint Eastwood movie, but in reverse, where he goes, yeah, okay. Just kind of like segues out the scene. And I just remember being like, you know, this is how wild it is that this dude, that's how he's playing with people. And I was like, dude, I would have gotten out of the seat if it was really legit the thing. But the dude the whole time knew it was not his seat. And there was no play in it. It was not even like an ounce of irony in it. It was just me sitting there being like, dude, I don't want to play with your fucking shit, dude. I'm here just to do work. So that was my one time meeting Judo Gene. And
he tried to gym bully you. He
did?
Yeah.
He tried to hit you with that the alpha sauce on you, like tried to punk you a little bit.
He did, and the sad part is that that stuff does not work with me in particular because I'm just very business oriented. Now, granted, I can be very funny, but I was just like, "What are we doing here? Where do you think I'm supposed to be, sir? How are we doing?"
Yeah,
this?
that's an old prison tactic. That's a county jail tactic that they used. It's the old "you're in my seat" move. They want to see how you respond.
But my favorite
you failed, by the way. You got to throw hands immediately. The second he goes, you're in my seat, you got to stand up and squab, dude. That's the rule of the streets. I didn't make the rule.
You should have just grabbed his pocket. You should just grab his pocket and said, take me to my seat, Gene. Because, yeah, you got punked on that one, my man.
Here's the weird part is
put it in his neck.
Did you have a moment? do you ever have a moment when something is happening to you and you don't think about the moment, you think about the headline or the video, you think about the President
Yes.
Awesome video that comes as a result of it? That's often what I think about with these sort of dilemmas where it's a choose your own adventure. And I go, vaguely recognizable podcast host gets into altercation with 80-year-old legend. Like, those are the kind of headlines that I go, I don't really want that. And listen, dude, as it is, everybody and their mom will try and pinata you when you are working as a photographer. Every person in the commission goes, hey, you can't be here. And I go, I didn't put me here. So I've now just been like, every time I do a show, I go, where the fuck am I supposed to be? Tell me exactly now. And then if somebody comes up to me, I go, go talk to them. I didn't put me here.
Yeah, it was a lose-lose. Everybody wants the Frank Trigg, Bruce Buffer story, right? But you ain't gonna get that there. You beating up an 80-year-old man. That's assault, brother. You can't do it.
Yeah.
That's the
He
worst
could
part.
die. He could break his hip and die, and then on his deathbed, he'd be like, "I was just joking."
Exactly.
And this guy just like immediately just like put hands on me.
This dude,
I already shit my pants. Now I'm dead.
yeah, it's just like, you could imagine it though, that like, that's me fielding questions about it even to this day, where people still in the comment section are like, hey, how's Judo G? And I'm like, I don't know, man. So I just left it at that. And it's weird, but we would run into each other here and there, and we never spoke again, but I always got the head nod, which was, and I go, yep, good to see you, old man. All right, I'm going to go back to my shit. So very, very small little aside story. But yes, I do like this. Tyler Sage, throw hands immediately, Freeman. That is essentially him. And it says, if Steven Seagal is on the other corner, Judo Gene is 1000% your choice. I mean, let's put it this way. Steven Seagal probably has more than one seat designated for him, so it's a little bit easier to tell where he's supposed to go. So I want to point this out, though. Boy. I'm a little weirded out that you didn't give this answer, but one of the people did correctly point out here. It said only one answer for wrestler to corner, and it's the big MF himself. Tim, how did you forget this?
Well, it's not that I forgot. I don't have a big MF action figure. So I was like, dang, dude, I thought about that, but I'm like, I got a JYD action figure in my studio. Like, I got to put this dude to use, man. Like, this is awesome. That's fair. So,
you can't 3D print one of the family? You can't do that, sir?
I need a GoFundMe to get a 3D printer, I guess.
Fair. All right, guys, we're going to our next topic.
The only toys I got are in our top drawer, and my wife won't let me bring those out right now.
Oh, boy. Look at this.
Are those yours?
Yeah, I was like, where do we go with this? Well, what transition is better than that, you guys? We go to our next topic, which is Gordon says the gi will be gone in 10 years. Will it? Now, here's the good news. I know Matt has a lot to say on this, so I'm going to let Tim go first. Tim, will it be gone in 10 years?
No, it won't be gone in 10 years, and it's not going to be because it's not a superior product. Has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the general population that loves the idea of putting a black belt on. Unless we can erase that idea, there's going to be people who are going to go to jiu-jitsu, and there's going to be people selling it, man, because when you hang that belt out in front of somebody and they're willing to give you $185 a month for it, we have a black belt club. Let's go, baby. So I can see it sticking around. I just don't think it's going to grow. I think it is maxed out. We might see a decline, but unless something wildly innovative they change the format, they do something. I just don't think it's going to continue to have the same growth that we see with no-gi jiu-jitsu. But you know what I do want to see go away, but I know it won't, is Gordon Ryan posting his BJJ Fanatics earnings. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see that. I'm like, why are you even fighting? If you're making $186,000 a month from BJJ Fanatics, what are you doing with your money, dude? Like, you can't figure it out. You still got to do jiu-jitsu? Like, come on.
No better argument for piracy than those posts.
Yeah.
I'm going to go over to you, Matt. What say you?
No way is gi jiu-jitsu going away. First of all, if you look at any jiu-jitsu tournament that's not a no gi only jiu-jitsu tournament and has both, gi goes from 8 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. No gi is from 3 to 5, and then absolute is from 6 to 8. So it's like there's way more gi competitors than no gi competitors in tournaments that offer both. Like Tim said, I think the belt system is what's a big draw for the gi practitioners, but also I think people who don't try gi, who don't even like try it, especially the lower level guys. Now, higher level guys, of course, you're always going to be good in gi or no gi. I'm sure Gordon Ryan puts a gi on and he mangles everybody in class, like he's Gordon Ryan, right? But I think people who are talk crap on gi particularly are just afraid to tell their girlfriends and their moms that they're white belts. You know what I mean? Like it's like you can wear the no gi kit, the level black kit, or whatever kit you're wearing, and you look like a badass. If you join a jiu-jitsu photo, you have to black and white that photo when you're a blue belt because it makes the belt look darker. To me, I think that the gi is never gonna go away. I think it's the most popular, honestly. Now, I think at a production level, no gi obviously is what people are going for, and I love no gi, but less injuries in gi. It's a slower paced game. It's more technical, more grip fighting, more strategy, and that is more attractive to people 30 years old, 30 and up. You're not shooting in and getting sprawled on and hurting yourself. So I think they're both going to be around forever. I don't see it declining. I see both of them growing. If anything, I see no gi maybe gaining steam and growing with gi as an equal, but I don't see it a decline in gi, not by a long shot. Not with the tournaments I go to that are just like there's 5,000 6,000 competitors at said tournament and it's all gi. Like it's not going away, and people are willing to pay the money for it because it's addicting, just like no-gi is. Any sport, um, when you just try this once, it's addicting. So, and we're all guilty of being addicted to it. So, I don't see it going away.
Okay. Let me see if I can clean up here real quick. What's the point of trying to say it's going to go away? Are you trying to make it cooler? Hear me out. If you think that you are making these bold proclamations, you're just like, you know what? I see the future and I don't see gi in its future. You're just trying to make something happen. Or it is more financially lucrative to you that no gi is more in your realm of making money. That's perfectly fine. Make your interests well heard and make your money. Having said that, the more exclusive you make something, the cooler you may inadvertently make it. Because for years, no-gi was the bastard child. Nobody wanted to do it because it was like, oh, don't do that. That's not classy. This is gi. Ugh. The roles reverse very quickly in sports. And if you make it something that fewer people are inclined to do, then those fewer people may somehow make it cool again because guess what? Less people are doing it. And then you get somebody who's a superstar. You get somebody who makes it exciting or who's able to say like, hey, you know that little sport called judo that you see at the Olympics? Well, we have some of those pajamas too. I'll tell you this much, gi's a lot closer to making it into the Olympics than probably no-gi is, just from that notoriety in itself, because people are a little bit more adjusted to seeing it. Doesn't mean it's necessarily true, but we always talk about making the sport bigger or trying to take from somewhere else. And that traditional garb is good for not just families, not just your uncle, not just your sister. Everybody can do it. And the more that you try to outcast it, I think the more you set it up for success in the future. So if you truly don't like the gi, stop trying to celebrate an early death when it continues to do big numbers. And more importantly, even people who practice no gi still send their kids to a traditional school that has a gi program. That can have lasting effects. And it's not going to go anywhere, especially when you have two of our best, like the Rotolo brothers or a Mikey, who aren't afraid to put on a gi because they know what it does. So just saying, you guys, it is hilarious to me every time we try to proclaim like, this is dead. And it's like, well, who's saying it? somebody who's very much profiting off of the no-gi version of it. So the details of its death have been greatly exaggerated. So just saying. Ta-da. All right. I'm over that one. I just love the fact that proclaiming something is dead all the time is always like, it's very much alive. Like, let it live.
Hey, maybe I'm bitter, you know? Maybe I'm bitter.
Yeah.
I you know, the leg lock game started when I was like a dirty purple belt. And I was like already developed my top game and all of a sudden now everybody's just inverting and standing on their heads and I'm like, yeah, wait, I'm already like high level. You can't be teaching me new stuff. So
Yeah.
maybe the game switched on me. So maybe I'm just a bitter gi guy, but I just don't see it going away. And you know what I mean? I just you got guys like Marigali who does both, and Mickey Galval who do both.
Yeah.
Same with freaking, a lot of guys do both. Lovato, all these guys. So it's like it's not going to go anywhere.
What they do
I
is
think you're right.
Go ahead, Tim.
Oh, I think you're right. I think the vibe, the problem with wrestling, or let's call it grappling in general, is that it's like the sports version of a group home. And it's got wrestling and gi jujitsu and no gi jujitsu and sambo and all these, independent martial arts are living under one roof, and they do not get along. You don't see baseball and softball beefing with each other. You don't see you don't see tennis and freaking, what's this thing everybody does now? Pickleball. You don't see pickleball trying to punk tennis or tennis punking badminton. It doesn't work that way. But for some reason in the grappling group home, none of these fools can get along. And it's like, dude, there's room for all of it. Like if President Biden came out tomorrow and said, look, man, you have to wear a gi or thou cannot wrestle, then I would just put a gi on. Okay, I'm wrestling in a jacket now. Let's go.
Which, by the way, does sound like something one of his aides would kind of tell him, like, hey, we got to win back the gi community. So Biden, can you get out there?
The gi community.
Can you get out there and just make a statement that lets them know we have their backs? And Biden gets out there and just like, I remember you got, I've in Stratton, we had a lot of geese, and I just know
healthcare.
We conquered no-gi. Like that's what we would get at the very end. I'll get this one note and then we're going to move on. But this is from Mindrum Network, and it says, gi, noun, one who loves pajamas, the objectively lesser of the two choices when compared to slip and slide wrestling. And then it's followed up with this. Opinion on Olympic style. Things that are more boring for the general public to watch are usually inundated with rules and guidelines easily understood by non-participating viewers to the sport. Now, here's the thing about that. A little magic of TV. However you explain it is how people understand it. Now, listen, when you show me something where they're basically using brooms to hit a certain mark, and you think that we can't tell them tap out means win, points mean win. It's all about how TV tells you a story. And what we don't have in our sport is good storytellers. We have good analysts, but very few storytellers. That is why we are not a TV-ready product. So even though you're trying to make the point here, it's unfounded, mostly because you're coming in with the assumption you can't tell a good story. You just don't know a good story. And if you were to make that a marketed good story, watch what happens. So anyway.
I think we need it. I think we need the Olympics to bring no-gi and gi together. I think if gi, jiu-jitsu, or even just no-gi jiu-jitsu got into the Olympics, I think both communities would be like, this is jiu-jitsu. Yeah. And it would all be one team. It'd be kind of like, it wouldn't be like how everybody who's Hispanic in California cheers for Mexico and they don't cheer for the U.S. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
hey, listen, bro. Listen, they're just rules that we have to follow. I get a primer. Yeah, I read it. It says, do not cheer for white people. And I don't want to, but it's just what I was told to do from my ancestors.
Would Mexico field the Mexican jiu-jitsu team, though? Like, because it's in the Olympics.
Hold on. Now you're making me think.
I think they could.
I want to point this out. It's a larger point that I think is really important. We aren't ready for the Olympics. Like, our sport, our stress test does not quite make jiu-jitsu. Like, if you were to get a Gordon Ryan to represent us in the Olympics, there would be no coverage of it. They would literally see him, they'd suss him out and be like, this is stupid. We are not covering this. We wasted our time. Like, other sports practitioners are all about showing their grit. They keep their mouths closed. They're super by the book. And every once in a while, you get somebody who has a flash of personality and you make the most of them. Gordon has so, I wouldn't even say good personality. He just has so much that people go, can you bottle that back up? And more importantly, I just feel like if you look at where we're at, we're not there in terms of giving a product yet. So whenever people are like, man, wait until we get to the Olympics, I'm like, I don't know about that, guys.
Yeah, listen, I don't want jiu-jitsu to ever get in the Olympics. The Olympics ruined judo. The Olympics eventually will ruin wrestling, and then they'll ruin jiu-jitsu. Like, I don't want that. Stay out of the Olympics. Keep it freaking grassroots as much as you can. Let Craig Jones organize something, like, let's not get in the Olympics, dude. I don't want to do it.
Oh, you're about to say, let Craig Jones get an Olympic silver medal.
Yeah, that too.
Tyler brings up a nice little point here, which is the enhanced games will have MMA, but not BJJ. I guess it's because we already have it with ADCC. Shit. Hold on. I know I have a sound effect for that. No, I know. Don't get ahead of me here, Tim. Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
There we go. Hold up. There we go. I knew I had it somewhere. Now, it says going to be fun to watch either way. I mean, sure, the enhanced games, let them go. Juice it up. Good for them. I still think it's going to be a silly thing to see, but hey, why not? We're going to go to our next topic, guys. Tim, this one belongs to you because I can, in good faith, deliver this one as good as you can. So
let me set this up real quick before you play it. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump.
Ahead.
I didn't want the video to start, but because it happens pretty fast. It's not the last few fight videos we've had have been like a little bit extended. This one is a short one, but a great one. And I think it happened a while back. It involves a jiu-jitsu coach. And there's a couple of things that happen. And there's a guy, in the beginning, he goes for the classic. This is Gracie Combatives Sucker Punch Defense 101. I've done this module probably 150 times now. Like, it's so hilarious to see it happen exactly like this. But then this guy who's a black belt in this video, he does something particularly funny to me at the end, and I could not stop watching it and laughing at it. So let's roll it out, and then I'll comment through it. This dude looks like he's walking out of a Quiznos. Oh, man, wait, we don't have sound on it, though. Did we lose the sound?
We unfortunately do not have sound on this, so I'm going to replay it, and I need you to tell people the sounds they are missing, sir.
Immediately when the guy swings, right before he swings, if we could roll it back, he goes, "What's up?" And then he takes that punch, completely missing the punch. The other dude just like drags him down. And here's the black belt. He walks over, he straddles him. Now he tells the other two guys, "You guys okay? Anybody get hurt? Okay." He sits on him, puts a knee on him, and now he starts slapping him in the back. And he goes, "It's over. It's all over now, buddy." And you could hear him slapping him in the back. "What's up?"
Hold on. Let's go here because you really do bring up a good point. But when he yells out, this is what prompted me to put this at the bottom, which is this is the "What's up, Denny's" of MMA. When he literally comes up and goes, "What's up?" What?
Hey, look at the sign above the door. It says "Beer Here." Like, look at this illuminated sign right above the door.
So hold up. Matt, I don't mean to make you the person of the technique breakdown here, but I need you to speak a little bit here about a technique that I am referring to as knee on ass. So what are the benefits of knee on ass, Matt?
Well, you lock the hips down. The guy hits a sweet lapel drag, basically a collar drag, on the guy who's proving that gi does work in the street. And then he goes, and then look, he hits lapel drag, boom, collar drag, and so like,
I like
and then
the black
the guy. You know what I
Look
mean?
how
Like,
he walks over.
You know what, Tim can't be more right than this. This is the most exasperated. Yep, I guess I'll just come over here.
fuck.
Gotta sit on another dude. This dude has definitely done this before.
Brother. Oh, you know, he's like, and the guy's like 6'5", and he hits him with that cholo shuffle, which this times his right hand. You know what I mean?
So let's see here. The cholo shuffle.
Cholo.
Yeah, man, talk about building up power from that shuffle right there, Matt.
Yeah,
I could narrate the cholo. Que onda? Que onda way? And then bam, man, it's over. I wish I knew what he was saying to those guys. I think he was saying, like, you guys, first class free, come train with me.
The guy's just fight, dude. He's under the benches too. The benches got him locked, his feet locked down.
Yeah.
But that guy could not be more fucked.
Can I point out the dude in the green jersey who just posts up like this is Cheers, like this is his usual haunt? It was just like, look at this happening over here, and his buddy who comes in over to the side that goes, "Yep, looks like another day well spent here at the bar, everybody."
This proves that it didn't happen in America, because if it was America, those guys would have their phones out.
Somebody had
No one
something.
recorded. It's been World Star. There's no World Star.
Yeah.
I mean, I think in Canada is just World Star is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Let me point this out, guys. If you're going to go and you're going to get into a fight, presumably at a bar, just ask yourself why you're trying to fight. I think that's the first step to getting out of a fight is, why are we fighting here? The dude who's wearing the Brazil jacket is not sweating at your cholo shuffle. He's not even moving. And then to be clowned in a way where he just kind of saunters over like, like, I guess I have to finish this now. The second question you should ask yourself, and again, go back to my example a little bit earlier with Gene. Do you really want to be on a highlight video on the wrong side of it? Because if you answer those two questions, you'll probably find yourself outside of a lot of fights and spare yourself the embarrassment of not only the internet, but people like us.
Raf,
He's probably told, hey, no more. And no more for you tonight. And he's like, don't you I don't know, man. That's...
How many fights could we solve if each guy if it was just a rule where you both had to say your why before you were going to fight? Like, okay, we'll do the declaration of the why. And the one guy goes, I'm doing this because I want another fucking drink and no one's going to tell me not to drink. And then the other guy goes like, well, I'm doing this because I have 18 years of jiu-jitsu practice and this is my fucking fantasy is happening right before my eyes and I'm about to beat your ass. And then at that point, the other guy could go, oh, I fold, I'm out. And then it's like, that's it. How many fights would we resolve? What is your why?
It's essentially an ante. Like, you have to buy into the fight.
Yeah.
So I like that you're taking it back to the gentleman's accords of ye old times where you're like, sir, why is your purpose for this duel? And then they come in, they go, actually, sir, I don't agree with your stance on my football team. Fair enough. How about I get us both beverages? Yes, we are friends. Like, I don't know what the fuck this is, dude. I just always think of it like this. You have to imagine you might be on film. It just, in this modern age, Matt brings up a great point, which is expect someone to bust out a phone. Because I can tell you this. We all train, and we all know at least two people at our gym who, if misfortune happens to us, they're busting this shit out and being like, oh, hey, smile at the camera, Raf. And I'm like, fuck, I'm a highlight today, aren't I?
But I can't even give up a position in the gym without making the group chat with a photo. They're like, oh, look at Matt. I got, I'm like, damn, dude. So yeah, for sure.
Tim, before we move on, it's just KOA, another secret 10P technique. Can you speak on that?
What I don't know what he means by KOA. I didn't get the reference.
KOA is neon ass.
Oh, neon ass. Yeah. That is a 10th Planet secret technique. It's not supposed to be released to the wild, so I'll have to talk to that student. That's a very controversial technique that we're perfecting in-house right now. It hasn't reached the general public and wasn't supposed to get leaked out. I don't know, man. Is Neon Ass, that's part of the new safe rap system that Henry Gracie's debuting to the New York City Police Department. It's the safe rap. You guys have seen this, right? He just debuted it. It's all over the place. You go Neon Ass. That way you don't impede anyone's breathing. You don't put them in like a weird, just Neon Ass, man.
You get a pink belt with that program. You get a pink belt and a free hoodie.
And a hoodie. Get an acai bag.
Gents, no better way to transition to the next topic, which is, yes, ONE FC is coming up, and there is a big matchup. You have Tai Rotolo versus Joseph Chen. I'd like to come for some predictions, and we'll start with you, Matt.
Well, both these guys got endless gas tanks. I think Tai has the experience. Obviously, he's been on the scene a little longer, but Chen is, he just won the ADC Euro trials. The kid's very, very good. Got good takedowns. I think he might be able to get, because catch Tai by surprise maybe, because just like Hage did like 12 years ago when he choked out Clark Gracie, no one really knew who he was, right? So like that's the factor, but I would have to probably go. I think Ty is gonna maybe squeak this one out, but I don't think it's gonna be as lopsided as some people who don't know who Chen is. I think it's gonna be a very, very close fight, but I would probably go Ty just on experience at fighting in that promotion and being under the big lights a little more.
Fair enough. Tim.
We're gonna win, and ONE FC's gonna win. They are under the radar, becoming must watch now for the jiu-jitsu crowd. Facts. They're putting on some really cool fights. They're not talking shit about anybody. They're not like doing anything controversial as far as I know. But man, they're putting on some really entertaining matches, and I think this is one of them. We hardly ever get to see two guys that are this dynamic and creative compete against each other while they are both on their way up. You often see one guy on his way down, the other guy on the way up, or they kind of meet at different times in their career. But these two guys fighting each other now is a real treat for us. It's very, very hard for me to predict. I think Ty has the edge, and I might be totally wrong about this. I think Joseph Chen loves the study and game of jiu-jitsu and learning more than he loves winning potentially. And I don't mean that as a knock at all. I think he's a fantastic athlete. I think I think he wants to win. And I think that sometimes you could accept a loss a little bit easier when you're when your curiosity is really high about the game. And that's just, I'm talking like minor edge in that category. I could see Ty maybe pulling it out against Chen. I wouldn't be surprised though, man. Chen has been making fantastic moves on people, and his control has been outstanding. If anybody can control Tai Rotolo, it's Joseph Chen. So I can't wait to watch it, man. It's going to be a great match.
Didn't Chen just beat Varela?
Yeah, he beat Varela on points, and that was just like a week after he beat, was it Elijah Joseph, I think, at WNO?
Elijah Dorsey.
Sorry, yeah. Yeah, so he's on a run, man. The guy's just looking good right now. And of course, so is Ty Rotolo.
Rotolo wants that GOAT. He wants that GOAT status. He wants that. He's already we've already like nominated him to be that guy. You know what I mean? Like we want him to be like a Gordon. You know what I mean? We want him to be our next guy.
Yes.
Chen is just kind of an up and coming rookie, basically, who's like, wow, this guy's on fire. He hasn't really made a name. He's almost like when Gordon became in the EBI way back in the day. We're like, oh, this guy's going to be good, but he's super good, but is he that yet? So I think that's kind of, even though they're both young, I think Ty is just that little bit. We've already crowned him a little bit, but don't take Chen lightly.
Yeah, I mean, I've been waiting for Chen to show out, and I'm kind of hoping this is the way it breaks down. I'm kind of hoping this is a fantastic match that builds more intrigue to us getting to the Craig Jones Invitational, because I'm kind of secretly hoping here that Chen shows out at Craig Jones Invitational. I don't know that he wins. I think that's a very tough bracket to figure out, but he has the capability of being a spoiler. And I think him versus Ty is a fun match. I know you guys both mentioned this. They're both young, but it feels wild to say somebody as young as Joseph Chen isn't even close to scratching where I think he's supposed to go. And they did just announce there is a new coach, a head coach over at B Team, which I guess begs the question, they had a head coach, but yet they have an actual legit coach who is responsible for that team. And I believe he has been working very closely with Joseph, and he has traveled with them to different tournaments. And I feel like that could also be something interesting to watch, to see how those two work together on a big platform like that. So super stoked for that all around.
You're talking about Dima Moravani, their new coach.
Correct.
Yeah, who knows, man? I don't know. This guy comes out. Everyone thinks that there's only one guy who's the thought leader in jiu-jitsu. And I mean, John Danaher has done a lot for jiu-jitsu. A lot of people have different opinions on him, but there's a lot of people copying Danaher's jiu-jitsu, man. And sometimes you tend to think like, oh, that's the only guy that can do anything big in the game, but it's pretty cool to see Dima coming around and getting some props. And it's good for the B team, because the B team is kind of like, yeah, that's the team Danaher started. Well, they all learned from Danaher. That's kind of like the word. That's the way they're kind of viewed. So at least get a different guy in there.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the nice part is everything breeds evolution. So at this point, it is cool to see somebody new who has some steam to them, and more importantly, can take what we all consider to be very talented individuals and not be a active competitor, like their eyes, their ears, and kind of hone them in. And as he put up, once I think they announced that there was going to be a Craig Jones Invitational, he goes, oh, cool. Craig's going to have me driving around all that day. Awesome. So I think he has a good sense of humor. But I'm sorry, what were you saying, Matt?
I just hope Ty stays with jiu-jitsu and he doesn't do the crossover like his brother. Because if his brother starts making big cash and jiu-jitsu doesn't really have that money yet, you know what I mean? Like, what's our window? He might make jump, just like if my bro's making money, I'm making money. He might make the jump. So I kind of like, every time I see one of his fights or anything he's in, I try to enjoy it, because we don't know how much longer we're going to have it.
Yeah, I fear that every so often with these guys. The issue with those two brothers are it's in them. Like, fighting is going to happen for both of them, whether we like it or not. And I just think of it like this. They've already put together a great resume given their youth. So we're going to be assured some really cool super fights in the future. It's just not going to be at the apex of being jiu-jitsu matches. I think we're going to have to take what we get from them as we go forward. And I'm fine with it. They have such a good spirit. Let them do what they want to do. It's just, I would love for the sport to be where you can make money in the sport and you can do it, and $1 million prize maybe inches us a little bit further down that way. The problem with it is it's a one-time deal, and they keep cashing those extra 50K checks on top of whatever, I'm sure, lucrative deal that they have with 1FC. But I don't think they're going to stop that gravy train anytime soon. I think the one good thing that we have to appeal to them is they are sportsmen at their core. So they are competitive at their core. And right. I think that's the one thing that we can appeal to them. I used to say that about Khabib, but guess what? Now we know Khabib broke. So we don't need to appeal to his sportsmen. We need to appeal to his bank account that's been frozen by Russian assets.
Money, 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 money. Let's get him back, man.
We are at the very end, but we do have a couple comments, and these are some of the notes that we got as word on the streets. And these were both found by, I believe, Tim.
Yes.
So why don't we start with this one, Tim? And it was a comment, and it says, Majid to CJI. It says, didn't I just see an ADCC account post that he was going to ADCC? Has the entire BJJ community decided to try and kill Mo with stress?
It kind of seems that way. We alluded to it earlier when we talked about Majid. It's like, damn, dude. Another one bites the dust and everybody sees it and knows what's going on. It's a slow burn, too. I don't know.
I just
what
want
you
to
do,
point
man.
this out. The amount of notes that are like, man, poor Mo. Like, this is a normal occurrence. And it shouldn't be a poor Mo. It should be a yay, my friends, or yay, a training partner I know or someone I
Yeah.
have seen. These are good opportunities. When someone drops out, it means somebody else gets the spot. These are good problems to have. And more importantly, like at the top side of it, LeBron opted out of a contract to get more money. No one is really giving him shit. People are saying like, well, we can't get another player for the Lakers. Tough shit. If he brings us another title, no one would say another goddamn thing. The thing that makes LeBron lucrative is his numbers, his stats, his relevancy to the team. So even if he doesn't bring us a championship, it's hard to argue against trying to keep that kind of a talent. Other sports leverage shit. We just are learning the beginnings of it. So guess what, guys? It works. And it's fine. I like this capitalism at its finest. I mean, not just capitalism, just fucking common sense. Like, I don't understand why we've got to be like, won't somebody think of the organizer?
They played it wrong. You know what I mean? He should have been like, when Dana White loses a fighter to Bellator, oh, we lost Francis Ngannou. Good for him. Oh well, keep the ball moving. That's how he should have played it. It's hard to play
Let's
Monday
hold
night
on there.
morning quarterback.
I could kind of go with you, but of all examples, Dana did not handle the Francis Ngannou conversation well.
That's true.
There was
That's
a
true,
lot
but
of like, he was never that good. I mean, John Jones has always been the best. Francis who? Francis Ngannou is what I know him
that's
as.
true. That's true. But like, any sport, rather, like Canadian Football League, NFL don't care.
It's more so like this. They go into a downplaying of what the other does for Dana. I don't think you even have to go that route. In fact, most organizers here in jiu-jitsu think they're Dana White or a diet Dana White. Just fucking take the high road. Just literally say, good luck to them. We've got a big tournament. You guys don't want to miss that. And if you run that race, watch the people who are going to stick by you rather than go the other way. We have one more comment here, and then we will call it a wrap on a day, but I did like this one. It says, what is it like being raised by Craig Jones? And that's the Joseph Chen. Now, I don't know where the fuck you found that one, Tim, but it looks like Reddit.
He was Joseph. So Joseph Chin is doing a Ask Me on Reddit, and I think it's tomorrow, and these people are posting questions to him already. There's hundreds of questions already, and I was checking out the questions, and they're all like, I'm a 4-stripe white belt and I'm having trouble with my kimuras. It's like, oh, what a waste, dude. This guy came around and was like, what was it like being raised by Craig Jones? Which I don't know how old Joseph Chin is, but Craig Jones kind of seems like the cool stepdad, which is kind of rare. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's usually not that way, but this is one of those situations when they're all like, yeah, our stepdad was like really kick ass, man, and he helped us. So
I like the idea of my real dad didn't step up for my jiu-jitsu fatherhood, but my stepdad did.
Craig Jones is the cool stepdad. He's gonna buy you that 1998 Sable Playboy and slide under your door and just like, don't tell your mom. You know what I mean? Like that. He's like someone. But I think Joseph Chen's wearing too much clothing to be Craig Jones's biological son.
Well, it's also this. Craig Jones really does fit that metaphor nicely because he also like goes out for a pack of smokes every 2 months to the Ukraine. Is kind of like, ooh, hey kid, yeah, hey kid, good to see you. Here, go take this. I gotta go, but you know what? Hey, what's that one thing I always told you? Never stop making money. Never stop making money. All right, I'll see you in like 3 years. All right, bye, kid.
Yeah,
there's a Michelob Light in the refrigerator. You can have the last one. Don't tell your mom.
Amazing.
He's fun to play Madden with, but like he's gonna bang your mom with the door open, so you got to go to bed and just close your eyes.
Yeah. That's a very high likelihood of happening if you really think about it. Gents, let's start plugging our shit as we wrap it up. I'm going to start with you, Tim. Tell the people where they can see and find you.
You can find me at Inside BJJ on the web, insidebjj.com, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. It's all out there. We had Brandon McCaffrin on, the commissioner of the PGF, recently, and that was actually our first live show. I usually just record the podcasts and then distribute them later, and I wanted to spice it up. I really enjoy doing these live with you, and I thought, man, these bums I work with on Inside BJJ, I need to spice it up and like light a fire under their ass. So we did it live and it was a ton of fun. We had Paul from Jiu Jitsu Outlet and Brandon McCaffrin on. So check that out. If you're out in Nashville, check us out, 10th Planet Nashville. And of course, if you're out in my hometown of Stockton, California, 209, go check out the boys at 10th Planet Stockton. It was great to see both of you, Raf and Matt. It was a pleasure working with you today. Really appreciate it. Can't wait to do it again.
All right, Matt, do us a solid. Tell us where the people can find you and hear you on a weekly basis, sir.
You can find me on Oast Nation BJJ on Instagram. That's where you can find me mostly. Also on the BJJ Balance podcast on Instagram. We have the BJJ Balance Discord. You can find that on the BJJ Balance Instagram. So if you want to contact me or Kenny really quick, that's the easiest way to get a hold of us. Oast Nation on Facebook, BJJ Balance on YouTube. That's pretty much all I got. Like this BJJ Balance everywhere, Oast Nation, BJJ everywhere. That's find me.
Gents, thank you very much. I appreciate both of your work. Matt, excellent work this week. Tim, great work as always. I appreciate you both. I will talk to you guys in a little bit. But for now, I'm going to sign this bitch off. I'm going to tell you guys, thank you so much for watching along with us. It has been a pleasure chatting with you. I hope that you enjoy this. If you like this show, go ahead and tune in every single Wednesday. We are doing that. I hope you guys have a great day off tomorrow. We'll have a running the gauntlet here at Grappling Hour on Friday, so look out for that. And yes, we have a new interview that we just did with Sean Applegate that's going to be coming out for all of our Patreon users. You can find that at patreon.com/grappling hour. Ladies and gents, that's going to do it for us here at the Bullpen. My name is RAF ESPARZA. You have been all wonderful to talk to. We will see you back here next week with more analysis and a brand new guest host, so be on the lookout for that. Ladies and gents, it has been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.